Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our Feed the Beast Let's Play. I've been working on making more of these complicated systems like right here. It's all a bit crowded right now, but I think I got most of it working. If I can get my hands on a sapling, of course. But that might be harder than I expected. I need to get a sapling because I think we are going to have an overflow of saplings pretty soon again. How many stacks? Enough. So let's take one out and filter that into the same spot that is already right there. So let's jump over this system for now. And right here we want to filter out both saplings and wood. And basically what happens, everything gets bumped down right in there. I need to put a little lava source over there, but I did not have the time yet. I'm trying to make this system look a little bit better right now. So I'm covering up everything that can be covered up because, well, the system is ready. So everything can be covered up. And that can't be covered up. So, well, this can actually be covered up as well, and then this can be covered up later on. So what we have happening right here, all the stuff that comes out, it filters out cobblestone, and it brings cobblestone down the line here. Let's cover this up in a while. So what I have done here, the line goes under my charcoal line, so I have to use some of these panels over everywhere. But basically that line gets sent all the way over there. And let me show you what is happening over there. Also going under the bone meal line for the bakery. So sending right under here into this barrel for now, but eventually I want to have a lot of these recycling people over here, and I have no clue how I'll power these yet. I think I'm just gonna take a line from there, and I really need more sources of EU, but this one should be being a good source since I finally fixed Chopper, of course. We're gonna talk about Chopper this episode, but I just want to show you the progress right here. So seems all good and fine. So actually what I might do is wait another episode, one more episode for Chopper, because, well, this is way more important than explaining Chopper right now, because the Matterfab has produced in one night 5 of these UU matters, but I think it could produce way more, but it just did not have enough of these scraps. So we gotta fix the scrap problem right now. I guess I want to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scraps, 6 recyclers with 5 upgrades each. I think that should be good. So that means you're gonna need 30 of these upgrades. I don't know how they're called. Well, I do know, but I don't remember right now. Here, these guys, overclockers upgrade. I'm gonna need 30 of those. Ouch. Oh, you can use natrium coolant cells, and these are, whoa, way too hard to make. We could use the 60Ks as well. They should not be pretty hard. Actually, we might go for that. So one of these helium cells makes one of those. So I need 30 of those. No, 15 of those. So I need, well, lots of glowstone. Hell yeah. Well, not too much actually. And it does require 250 seconds as well. So are there other ways of getting these? Oh, with liquids, with gaseous helium? Oh my god. Oh well, I'll just make them off camera, of course, as always. But yeah, whenever that's set up, I need to get my power line. Let's actually make the power line together, because, yeah, let's go get some cables for the power line. And then everything is almost set up and we can start making it. Then I still need an output line. I think I'll just use redstone engines. So what was I going to get? Oh, of course. 5 diamonds. 10 silver. And a lot of glass. That should make quite some stuff right here. Let's test this out. Let's test this out real quick. Okay, of course, like this, like this, like this, yeah. Uh-oh. Like that, and then the 5 of these in. I don't need 10 obviously, but makes us 30 cable links, and 30 should of course be enough to get the power line going. What I'll probably do for now is just mine out this part and place it down. Might be harder. Okay, he's done. Okay, they're connected. So then we're right here, but this is the output line. Wait, is that the output line for all of them? I think I'm gonna need another MFE hooked up right here, going in a sort of pattern like this. So another MFE right here, and then we can output it to the ground. Uh-oh. No, wait, let's do this differently. Okay, wait, if we do it like this, and we put our MFE right here, then we can... Actually, no. MFE right here, bad box right here, cable down the line. That should work perfectly, so... Oh, yeah, that should work good. Cool. I don't know how we'll be able to cover these up, though. Like, right here, these guys. Might have to do it just like this, because that is a little bit ugly. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Okay guys, before we can get started on the next sequence right here, from Chopper, we have to finish this. So what I did right now is I worked on the recyclers right here. As you can see, I moved them to the right so we can actually output with some engines right here. That way we can output all the scrap that we've been getting into one pipe that will go back to the place where we might, where we will put our matter fab, and that would be probably around right here somewhere. We'll have everything still powered as it was powered earlier, but we will have all the solar panels, the hybrid solar panels, dedicated to the matter fab. So that's why we're gonna put it in this corner right here, close to these engine. So let's put our MFE down right here. That one should start filling. And then let's put this guy down. And before we actually connect that, to be sure, because we gotta do it right, let's move this guy around, and we can basically hopefully connect it right now. And these guys, they should start working immediately. Well, if they would have copper, of course, which, not copper, cobblestone, of course. And they don't have cobblestone, but right now they do. So, cool. So, we got a scrap production right now. We gotta output it with some pipes. I'm just gonna lay out the basics and do everything else myself. Just because I would very much like to talk about my chopper program today, and continue with this later on. I'll build it myself probably, or continue with that in the next episode. So what we'll do right now is we'll talk about a chopper program. After I got my jetpack running again, let's actually go talk about chopper today. I will of course not use the turtle itself to talk about chopper, but chopper should not really take that long, and then next episode we can get started on more industrial craft stuff. And after this guy's charged, we can go copy chopper into another turtle, and then we can continue working. That way we still produce power while explaining the whole chopper program. Cool. Electro jetpack. Come on. Okay, that's cool. How is that not filling quickly? Can I collect the MFSU from here? No. Come on. Give me the MFSU. Oh my god. Seriously? Come on. MFSU, please. How can you be draining that fast? What's the biggest engine? Increase output by 8. Increase output by... this guy. Turn off. I don't get where all my power is going to. Is all the power going here? I mean, that would be... Oh, yeah, that makes actually sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes common sense. Okay, sorry. Are you still working, though? Yeah, his modem is still on, so he's still working. Cool. So we got our last layers being done of our quarry. Now we can set up a third quarry later on. But before we continue with anything here, let's get our turtle going. We might have to wait until he cuts down another tree, because we can't just stop our turtle in the middle of the program yet. I'm saying yet because I'm pretty sure that there is a way that I will eventually get to that way. But basically, what Chopper does, it keeps on cutting down the same tree, and whenever it needs something, it comes and get it. That's basically how it works. You got a full, almost a full chest of bone meal, a full chest of sapling, so he can work basically quite a long time. Also got this ender chest full of charcoal, depending on how you want to see it. But we got charcoal production going on downstairs, so eventually the chest should be refilling, and he doesn't really need that much charcoal anyway. So he's almost being done, that way we can mine him. Because yeah, we actually have to mine him, and then we'll reset the program. So, sorry. So let's drop all this random stuff down the line. Cool. So, oh, I don't want this. Oh, I do want that, but I don't want this. Okay. So what we'll do now, we'll take our turtle, the Bravo turtle, and we will copy him. Well, we will copy Chopper to our disk drive. After we went delete Chopper right here. These are random programs like Chopper and Rec. I combined the two programs to get the stuff going on. So copy Chopper to disk/Chopper. My fuel level is 3225, but he can refuel himself all the time. So let's mine Bravo again and place him back down, and then I will do a little show, because right now his inventory is completely empty. So how will he manage to fill his inventory again? He is pointing the right direction, and before we continue here, I would like to do one more edit to Chopper, to the refuel one, because I have seen something that is getting my attention if I see him doing stuff. So the refuel one, after he goes to, so before he ends, oh my god. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Yeah. So before he does his end, I would like him to turn right one more time. Come on. So it's quite a big program, Chopper is. So right now, what he will do, he will sort his inventory first. His inventory is empty, so he will immediately notice, oh my god, my inventory is empty. Let's get some stuff. So first things first, he got himself a stack of saplings, and then he goes back, and then he will place the saplings down, and then he will look at the next step. Okay, my next step is saying I need bone meal. I don't have bone meal, so let's get some bone meal out of that chest. Let's get a stack immediately, so he can get started, and as you can see, another stack is gone. And voila, he got his tree, and he starts cutting it down. Beautiful. If you want to use this program at home, of course you will need to reset the cords for these chests. You can set them to anything you want, basically, as long as you don't go too far and too fancy, and that he doesn't like have to jump over stuff, because that is not implemented into the program as of right now. So, uh-oh, I made a huge mistake there. A really big mistake. Uh-oh. I forgot one thing that is really necessary into this program. So before we can get started, I'll have to fix that immediately, because if I don't fix that, we will get issues. A lot of them. Yeah, actually quite some. So let's go find the turtle. Okay. Always have one charcoal in there, because if you don't place a charcoal in there, he will fill that space up with wood, and you really do not want that happening. I'll show you in the code in a sec. So let's have a look at the code using the alpha turtle. We can copy the code over easily. First things first, we want to delete the Chopper program on here. And we want to copy disk/Chopper. chopper to the chopper program itself. It's not a directory, of course, not a directory. Oh, I typed cd. Uh-oh. Okay, so we got it copied. Let's mine them down again. And let's place them down right here and type edit chopper. Oh, what did I just do? Chopper. No. Oh, shit, don't execute it. What am I doing? Okay. So, basically, the first thing you see is some info. Make sure that slot 1 is, well, you don't really need to make sure if you started the program with the chests, but slot 1 goes with bone meal, slot 2 goes with saplings, and just make sure that there's always 1 charcoal into this slot. Make sure that that is always true, okay? So, slot 4 to 16 is in a combination of 1, 2, 3, and if you don't use a chest, then you really want to do this, of course. But if you don't use a chest, you want to delete some of the code in here, but this code is written for using a chest. So, actually this is a kind of outdated thing here, slot 4 to 16. So, let's actually delete this part, because it's outdated anyway. And then I want to type one more thing. Just because I want people to know that I wrote this program. Cool. So let's get down to the code, the actual code. So basically, of course, this is the RedNet code from the other turtle. I just copied this whole part over from my REC program. And then here it starts. So the first thing we have is here begins the chopping part at line 100. Then drop log. But before I can explain drop log, let's go over and go to the sort inventory one. So basically, this function will immediately automatically sort the inventory as long as there is at least 1 bone meal, 1 sapling, and 1 charcoal in those slots. If that is not true, then the sorting will fail. So first things first, we want to say a local a equals 3, and then we want to have a while loop. As long as that a is smaller than 17, because it will have 16 slots, of course, then we want to select the a slot. So we select 3 the first time, and if turtle.compare to 1 equals true, and if if turtle.compare to 1 equals true, then what you want to do, you want to turtle.transfer to slot number 1, and then right here after the comma you have to type an amount of items you want to sort to there, you want to move. So basically what I have got here is turtle.get item space 1. So what this line do is this if statement right here. It says if the item in this slot is the same item as the item in this slot, then I want you to transfer all the items that you can place in there right in there, because turtle.get item space means it goes check and how many more items can fit in that slot. Like for example, if you have 60 saplings, then he will say turtle.transfer to 1, 4, because turtle.get item space would be 4, because there's room for 4 more saplings, because 60 to 4 makes 64 total stack. So that's basically what this does. We got another one for compare to 2, because if this slot compares to the bone meal right here, sorry. If this slot compares to the saplings in slot 2, well then move them by the amount of items that can still fit into that stack in this slot. Same goes for item.turtle. Same goes for turtle.compare to 3. You want to do exactly the same. And then after he has checked all the after he compared all the things, then of course you want to make sure that a equals a plus 1, and that way a would be 4 right now, and he would check this slot, this slot, this slot, this slot, all the way up to 16, and whenever he would go to 17, then the while loop right here would not work anymore, because the while loop said as long as it is smaller than 17, because if I would still try to do it with 17, the program would crash because he does not have 17 slots. So after we did that, we want to make sure that a is not 1 anymore. Oh yeah, of course, a equals 1, because we want to go back to the bone meal slot, and then we want to select that slot so he can easily do the next step. Then place saplings right here. It's not a difficult one. We want, of course, to select the second slot because that has the saplings, and then if the turtle get item count from that slot, 2 slot, is smaller than 5, then go to these coordinates, select the second slot again. That's a line of code that is really not necessary right here, because he already selected it up top. So let's delete that. He wants to suck down, he wants to suck some items, a full stack if possible, from the chest below, the down, suck down from below. Then he goes to the coordinates right there, so he can place his saplings down. So those would be the coordinates right there above the torch where he always starts, and then he can start placing his saplings. So basically, if he does not have enough saplings to do his job, then he goes to these coordinates, sucks them from the chest, and continues working. The turn left is just because my go-to program is written like that he would stand in the wrong direction, so we have to make him turn left at the end, so he is really pointing in the right direction, of course. Then, if he detects that there is no block in front of him, and if he compares and it's not a sapling standing there, because of course we want to make sure that there is no wood log, because it could be that he might have ran out of saplings, of bone meal, sorry, and then he couldn't be bone mealing his stuff. So then we want to say, well, there might be already a log in front of him. So as long if there is no block in front of him, if there's not a fur log right there yet, and if the detection, if you compare to the block in front of you and it's not a sapling, because it might be that it's already a sapling there but no fur log, then of course when there's no block in front of him and there's no tree yet there, we want him to place down the saplings. This code is basically quite easy, just goes forward, place one, go backward, place another one, turns right. He basically places the 4 saplings down with all these commands. This is the most silly code of the program for me, because it isn't really compact, of course. So then he has placed his saplings, then it's time to bone meal those saplings. Of course he wants to select one, he select his first slot for the saplings, then he goes check if do I have enough saplings to continue yet. I selected 5 here because I don't want him to get out of saplings. We always want to have at least 1 sapling in there, just because if there's 1 sapling in there and he uses it, then there won't be any more saplings in there, and he will start filling this slot up with fur log, and then he will fail in his program. So at least whenever the program is running, we always want 1 bone meal, 1 sapling in there because of the fur log going into those slots. Then he goes to the chest for the bone meal. He selects his first slot. This is of course another piece of code that is really not necessary, so let's delete it. He sucks down from the chest below and he goes back, and he goes back to the chest and he places down. So he basically right clicks the sapling to place it down. He right clicks the bone meal, sorry, I'm keep on missing. He right clicks the yeah. So basically just uses his bone meal, and then he selects the second slot. And what the hell is this code for? Oh, if he ran out of bone meal. So if the chest would be completely empty, of course, then he won't be able to bone meal it. So what I said right here, as long as he selects a slot for the saplings, and as long as there is a sapling in front of you while turtle compare is true, then you gotta sleep for 60 seconds and then recheck, because of course we don't want him to continue with the program if he does not have any more bone meal. But like, if we would not have that piece of code, he would just continue with the program and mine the saplings down. Well, we don't want him to mine the saplings, we want him to wait until the tree has grown naturally and then continue. So that's what this line of code is for. Then the big old tree chop program, this is the actual chopping of the tree. We define another local right here, a local I that is equaling to null to 0 right now. And then he digs and he goes forward. So basically what he does, he makes sure that he is right under the tree. Let me simulate a tree right here. So this is the tree. Oh, yeah. So this is the tree. And what he does, he goes in front of it. He goes standing right in that slot. And then he's ready to go digging up. Like, he will go mine up. like mine forward, mine up, up, mine forward, mine up, up, etc, 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 until he's right up on top. Then he will turn, do the same thing at the other side, and then he will continue. So he digs, he goes forward, and as long as he sees that there's a block above him, because we do not know in front if the program, if the tree is going to be 60 blocks or 50 blocks or 40 blocks, so we want to make sure that he can cut down every single tree. So as long as there's a block in above him, he needs to mine that block. Well, of course, first mine in front of him, then mine the block on top of him, then go up, and then recheck. Y equals y plus 1. Why did I do this? Oh yeah, of course, makes sense. So we want to go ahead and check how high the tree actually is, right? So what we do is we equal it to 0 right here, and every time every time he goes up, we want him to equal that y to plus 1, because we want to check how many blocks is he actually above his starting position. Because of course, if we go back, like if we go down again and mine these blocks right here, the other type, we can't say as long as you detect a block below you, mine down, because then he would mine the platform where he has to put the saplings on. So we can't have that happening. So we want to make sure that he only mines as many blocks down as the blocks he went up. Because of course the tree is a cube. It's not a cube, it's a rectangular-ish shape. I don't know the word in English. But basically, yeah, it's like if he goes 5 blocks up and then he mines down, he will have to mine down 5 blocks because both sides have the same height. So that's what we do right here. Then whenever he is done with his program, whenever he went up and there's no more block above him, we want him to dig the block in front of him still, then go forward, so he is on this slot right here. Then he wants to turn right. He turns right, pointing that direction. He digs the block in front of him, goes forward into that block, turns right again, and then there's a for loop right there. So he digs, and as long as that I, we could do it with a for loop of course, but as long as that I is bigger than the 0, you have to do the same thing over and over again. You dig down, and you go down, and y goes y, I goes I minus 1. So basically what this will do, this will make sure that he mines as high as he mined in the other branch of the tree. I hope you understand. It might be me just being weird and explaining this, but I hope you understand that this makes kind of sense. Like if he goes up 3 blocks, then he have to go down 3 blocks again to make sure that he ends up at the same height of the total program. So that's what this is all about. And whenever he has done that while loop, we want him to wait, let me try to figure out why I have that code right there. So he goes down to the lower block. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So the last thing he does is going down. Of course, whenever he's down at the right level and y equals 0 again, he won't dig the block in front of him anymore. So you want to make sure that the block in front of him gets dug out anyway. So that's why we have the little dig line, goes forward twice, turns right, forward, turns right. So he ends up right at the beginning spot of the tree again. And what? Oh yeah, so he ends up right above the torch again. And then he can of course drop his logs out, because that's the next step. I mean, yeah, refuel it later. Then we can go up again to the other function right here, above the bone meal, above the sapling, above sort inventory, right here. So the drop block function. First things what we want to do is we want him to sort his inventory, because, well, we want to make sure that the blocks that we drop are not just normal blocks. We want him to sort his inventory, so all the saplings and all the bone meal and all the charcoal is right in these slots, and then we want him to start dropping. So he selects F, and F is a local, and F equals 3. So he will select this slot, and then he will start comparing. If this block, if the item right here is not the same item as the item in slot 1, equals false, and it's not the same as the item in slot 2, and it's not the same as the item in slot 3, then you can drop it, because it's not a sapling, it's not a bone meal, and it's not a charcoal, so drop it. And actually f should equal 4. Right, at this point. Yeah, f should equal 4. I think I have to change that still. But whenever that is all, whenever it does not equal to charcoal, it does not equal to a sapling, and it does not equal to a bone meal, then you can drop down the whole stack, drop down 64. And then, of course, you want to go up f with 1, because he needs to check the next slot going up to 16. That's why we have the 17 again, so he does not exceed the 16. And then f equals 4 again. This is a mistake I made because I added the charcoal later on in the system. So f equals 4. I have to change this somewhere right here as well, because oh well, else it will never drop this slot, of course, because it will always equal the same. So f equals 4. So I have explained every single function in the game. Oh, refuel. It's an easy function, of course, refuel. Let me show you. We're almost to the end of the program, line 212. So we got a function.refuel because, of course, he has to refuel himself. So what we do right here, he goes to the chest with the charcoal, he selects the third slot, the fuel slot, and he sucks down as much as he can. Of course, what then would happen, we don't want to consume 64 items, we want to consume 63 items. Why do we want to always, if we do this, if he gets the item count, for example, he sucked down 47 charcoal, we want to make sure that he does not consume all 47, because we always want 1 charcoal in this slot. So we make sure that A, another variable, I should call this another variable, not A, because A is already used somewhere. So let's call this E. We should not call it E, let's call it P. So P equals, third will get item count, the amount in here, minus 1. And that way we make sure that there's always 1 charcoal in this slot, and then he can refuel, and the amount of blocks he can refuel is, of course, P. So he refuels, if there's 47 blocks in here, he will refuel, he will consume 46. Not 47, 46. Then he goes back to where he was, so he can restart the function. So this is the real program right here. All the stuff above there were functions, and right now this is the while loop where we use the functions. So as long as he has fuel, we want him to continue. So while your fuel level is above 100, then do this. Then an if statement, because if your fuel level is lower than the 200, then you need to do the refuel function. He needs to then go to the chest and refuel to make sure he always stays above the 100, and he can actually continue until the server crashes, of course. So what we then want to do, we want him to drop all the logs to clear his inventory. We want him to place down the saplings, then we want him to bone meal those saplings, we want him to chop the tree, and we want him to drop log again. But this is one too much, because if he restarts, he will drop log again. So we changed some code around. We got 222 lines of code for this lovely program. I did not re-explain the chords, of course, because that's explained in an earlier video. I hope you will like this program a lot. I like it a lot. It's giving you lots and lots of energy. Let me show you down the stairs while we save this code. While we save this code, and we want to paste bin, put chopper. So all of you guys can have a look at the chopper. I will actually take my notations right here and put in that paste bin for chopper right here in my notations. So paste bin, that equals nsvae. I could rewatch my video, but that's too much of a job. So nsvae d4d. Cool. So this was chopper, finally explained. I hope you all liked it. And let's have a look at how the system right now works, actually, because of course the logs have to be used by something. So basically right here we got all these engines using charcoal, and all the logs end up right in this filter. It filters out the logs and it puts them in a powered furnace, and it basically makes charcoal out of them. That charcoal is put into these engines, and then when all the engines are full, it takes the charcoal down to this line into this array of generators, which are all working to get the power level to 10 million again. So they're all having fun generating, as you can see. Then we got this geothermal for extra energy input. We got a solar panel line coming from there, and all these MFEs. Basically every electrolyzer got this MFE, every blast furnace, an implosion compressor, and industrial grinder has an MFE. There is a, so basically what all these machines are powered by the MFSU. So basically we got everything powered by 12 solar panels and one turtle. Isn't that cool? I think that is. And any excess charcoal that cannot fit into these generators, so whenever we have a full MFSU, then these guys will of course stop and it will go into this ender chest, and this is the same ender chest being used by the turtle program. So it's all self-sustainable. We don't have to input anything. Well, of course some bone meal. That's the only thing we have to input, but we have a lot of bone meal everywhere. As you can, oh yeah, that filled it up. And then we got them all being killed. So right now what I will do is I will add a crap ton of these recyclingers, and then we can start with recycling and work on that project next episode. I hope you all guys liked the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hope to see you guys all next time.